Good everyone, it's Nathan Rose from Intergen here in beautiful Auckland, New Zealand. I'm really excited to share with you a new feature that I've discovered from the PowerFX team at Microsoft in PowerFX in model-driven apps. So as I was playing around with this last week, I've noticed that they've added some new options when you click to add commands in your model-driven apps. And they've added drop-down, split buttons, and groups. So what these are ways to group your PowerFX ribbon commands in the model-driven app in a logical way for your users. So as you've got a number of different ribbon commands, particularly if they're same but different, this allows you to group them in a logical way so that you don't overwhelm the user with oodles and oodles of commands in the ribbon. So they've given you a couple of different ways to do this. So the first is the drop down. And what this allows you to do is add a drop down, add a group to the drop down, and then add your command. So what I've done in this case is I've got a couple of navigate commands to take the user around the app, either to the home screen or to the view of one of the tables in the app, and the user accesses them by clicking on this dropdown. This works exactly the same way as the flow dropdown that you'd be familiar with in the ribbon now. When you click on this, you see the flows that are associated with that table and that record. The PowerFX dropdown command works exactly the same way. The other option is a split button. What the split button does is it has a dropdown associated with it. However, there is a primary function associated with that button. So in this case, the primary function takes the user to the home screen, or they've got an option to select some other navigation options within the app. So that's what this looks like behind the scenes. Let's flick over to the model-driven app, and I'll show you what this looks like live. So you can see we are on the contact record in the model-driven app, and you can see that we've got our drop-down and our split button. And so as you can see, when I click on the drop-down here, I've got a few commands associated with it. When I click on this takes me to the home screen, or I've got the option to go to the view of another table. So that's what the drop-down does. The other option is my split button. So you can see I can either go to the home screen, which is the primary command that's associated with that, or there's some sub options here associated with it. So that's the new feature that the PowerFX team have added with PowerFX in model-driven apps. It's a really great addition. This allows you to logically group your commands to enhance the end user experience. One quick call out that I'll make: when you're working with the split buttons in the model-driven app, I noticed that with the navigate commands, the first time I added them here in the ribbon editor, I'd get errors here in the model-driven app. When I overwrote this navigate command with a launch command, so launch Google or something like that, saved and published, and then added the navigate command back and saved and published, it would work. So not quite sure what's going on there. Probably something that the team's looking at and working on, but all the same, this is a great addition from the PowerFX team at Microsoft. Really good way to enhance the user experience and logically group your PowerFX commands in your model-driven app. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this was helpful.